Hey guys, my name is Shai, and this is a pick a card reading for Starseeds and Lightworkers. You may have already picked your message from the apples on the thumbnail. It's the red apple, the green apple, and the golden apple. Of course, you can pick from the cards here, and I will see you guys in your reading. All right, pile number one. This is the red apple. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear my cat in the background. He wants me to take him outside, but I can't take him outside right now because I am doing this. He is not dying, as it may sound. He is just whining. And he's going to be fine. I'm going to take him out later. So honestly, I get a little bit of that vibe from this pile, from the red apple. I was kind of feeling like maybe somebody who picked this pile is feeling kind of grumpy or kind of annoyed, or maybe you're beefing with something. It's that kind of vibe. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's just get the cards and find out what's going on here. Okay, so we got follow the signs. I'll let you take a look at this. Follow the signs. It's number 44. Here she is with this casting some fire. Follow the signs. Completion. Ooh, the last piece of the puzzle. Possibilities. And adventure. Okay, I was just out there trying to quiet my cat. I have to take another look at him and see if I can get him to chill out for long enough for me to get through this reading. So one moment. All right, let me try this one more time. So something here is leading you to this experience of completion, to the final piece of the puzzle. Maybe you guys, maybe that kind of feeling of grumpiness, and maybe it's just restlessness or frustration for some of you, feeling like you've been on some kind of very long path, or some kind of answer or solution has been eluding you, right? And maybe this is that feeling of maybe you've been trying to figure out the one weird trick, right? Trying to figure out, what do I need to do to make my reality make this happen? And that's not really what this is about, right? That's not really what this is about. Finding the one weird trick, trying to figure out how to make your reality give you what you think you want. That's just not what this is about. It's asking you to have a shift in perspective here. Simply follow the signs, right? Follow the signs. That's the signs and synchronicities, and following your intuition and following following the track is actually what I'm hearing. Following the track. But I'm actually, but not really train tracks, actually more like the track, like a song, right? Following the track. I was seeing an old cassette tape in my head, like spinning around, following the track, following an old cassette tape. Interesting. Cassette tape is going to be imagery for somebody, symbolism for somebody. And that is how you come to this moment of completion. And you're not actually looking for the final piece of the puzzle. You actually already have the final piece of the puzzle in your hand, and it's just about to click into place. Click into place. I think the thing going on with my cat in the other room is he's very frustrated. He wants to go outside right now, and he wants me to take him out right now. And the thing is, I would love for him to be able to be an indoor-outdoor cat, because it's really important for him to go outside. He can't be kept inside. I do have an indoor cat who loves to be an indoor cat, and she doesn't really want to go outside, and that's good for her. But my other cat, really, he gets really depressed and he gets this dead look in his eye. So, but we can't let him be an outdoor cat here because we live in an apartment, and there's just always tons and tons of dogs, like, out there, and it's just not really feasible where we live right now for him to just come and go as he pleases. So I take him out for almost an hour every single day. He's trained with a harness and on a leash, and I take him out and we go prowling, and he gets all his cat time in, and that keeps him very happy and mentally healthy. But of course, when he thinks it's time to go out and I'm like, I got stuff to do, I can't take you out right now, he starts losing his mind, right? And screaming and trying to learn to open up the door and all of that. And it's like, I wish I could just explain to him, like, just be a little bit patient for a little bit longer. I promise I'm going to take you out. And some days I can't take him out, right? Some days he has to skip going out because I have stuff to do, or I'm too tired or whatever. And I wish I could just explain to him, like, just chill out. There's so many more possibilities and adventures to be had in your life, right? So many more possibilities and adventures to be had in your life. Just follow follow the path that is set before you, right? It's weird. I don't feel like this is a very big message for you guys. It's kind of this message of just try to come into a very clear frame of mind. Understand that, yes, maybe a little bit more patience is being asked of you, but in the big picture, like, guys, I'm an extremely impatient person, so I always feel kind of bad giving messages of patience because when I get those messages, I will like throw the card across the room, and sometimes I will stomp my feet and throw a hissy fit, right? I'm extremely impatient, and I have had many, many challenges in my life where I have been tasked to remain patient for like well beyond my tolerance of patience, to the point where I thought I was going to lose my mind. But the funny thing happens is when you get to the completion, right? When you get to the completion of the patient journey, every single time I wish, wow, that wasn't really that bad. That wasn't really that long. Now I understand why it had to play out that way. I wish I had just been more patient. I wish I had just chilled out and relaxed and enjoyed where I was, because now that time in my life is gone. And even though it was sometimes unpleasant or not what I wanted or whatever, there were still things to be enjoyed about it. And at the moment of completion, I always, 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 always wish I had been more patient. That is like probably my biggest my only real regret in life is actually looking back and going, I wish I had just chilled out more. I wish I had been more patient. I wish I had remembered that possibilities and adventure are always on the horizon, right? They're always on the horizon, and there's always more, and there's always more life coming down the pipe. So I think I will just actually end. This is just, apparently you guys' message is quick. So I'm just going to close by reading you the message on this card. Card number 44, all the way to the end. Follow the signs. This kitsune girl is creating magical signs out of her holy foxfire. Signs, omens, messages for you to follow while you walk your path. She wishes for you to have guidance, and her purpose is to create this fire. And when you see this card, you know that the messages and the signs coming to you are to be trusted and are worth following. There is a sense of union, friendship, and trustworthy allies when this card comes, as she acknowledges that you are following the right path and that you must trust in the signs that have been coming to you is not misplaced. And that your trust in the signs. This is an important message, okay? Listen up. Your trust in the signs that have been coming to you is not misplaced. Meaning, if you've been having doubt, right? If you've been having self-doubt, if you've been wondering, did I make a mistake? Did I make a wrong turn? Should I not have trusted the path? Should I not have trusted the signs? Nah. Put aside the doubt. Your trust is not misplaced, right? You're on the right track. The sense of following something subtle, strange, and not quite knowable is a tentative path, and a mysterious one, and many have said that you are fools for letting such things be your advisors. But this card says that you can grow in confidence and know that the warmth and the light of the sacred fire is part of the gift that the universe is sending to you. You have found her. She is saying yes, and now it is for you to tune in, connect, and keep your inner guidance strong and healthy. There is a purity to this process and a passionate energy. Go where the fire of the kitsune leads you, for it is growing in power, and your intuitive understanding is becoming deeper, clearer, and more luminous with every step. Yeah, it's, I don't believe in tests from the universe, right? I don't ever really think that we're being tested. I think that is a totally understandable and completely fine way of looking at things, but I think it's just not the full picture, right? I don't see things as like, this is a test. I just never really see it that way. If you go beyond that way of thinking, It's not like it's a test. It's like it's the moment of completion. And maybe sometimes you have a stumbling block at your moment of completion. Maybe sometimes it takes way too long for the thing to click in, right? It takes too long and it's been too confusing. Don't doubt your path. Don't doubt your path. This is, at the end of the day, a message for you to let you know to put aside those feelings of self-doubt or doubting in the path or doubting in the signs, right? Those little niggling doubts, treat those like flies or mosquitoes buzzing around your awareness. Put aside the doubt and just focus all of your awareness on what brought you here. The signs, the synchronicities, the nudges, the intuitive knowing, the feeling of walking a path. Focus on that. Allow that to take you to your moment of completion, right? At this point, the only thing that can stop you is the doubt. And even doubt's not really going to stop you. It'll just make the rest of your path a little bit more confusing, but it's not actually going to stop you. So I'm going to leave you guys there for card number 1. And I don't know, think about the symbolism of the red apple. Okay, the symbolism of the red apple for you guys. All right, card number 2. This is the green apple. And a funny story, I actually just talked for several minutes, but my camera was paused. So so I already actually know what your cards are because I already flipped them up, but I will just summarize basically what the gist of it was. I think this is actually good because I was kind of, all over the place a little bit, and now I can be more clear. So growth, okay, this card of growth, beyond illusion, I want that to be the last card. Trust and turning in, okay? Trust and turning in. And this is a message about encountering the depths of your heart on a new level, okay? And understanding what it means to operate from the place of your heart on a new level. This is inner growth. This is deep, deep, deep inner growth. This growth card over here, it feels like you guys have taken a leap of faith that has taken you inwards. A leap of faith that's not external. It's not taking you out somewhere. It's a leap of faith that is taking you inside of yourself, taking you deep, deep, deep inside of yourself. You can think about how this may have played out. Maybe for some people, it's leaving a job, leaving of a relationship. For others, maybe it is this trusting in your path, right? Trusting in your spiritual path, trusting in a sense of, trusting in an inner sense of purpose, even though you have no physical reflection to guide your way. You're trusting your own inner purpose. So I will say that for some with this energy, there could be a little bit of a feeling of entrapment, right? You could feel kind of trapped in the dark, like you've been cocooned in darkness, but that doesn't have to be a negative thing, okay? That does not have to be a negative thing at all. It's asking that you trust this inner process, okay? Trust the inner process because this inner process is taking you beyond illusion. Beyond illusion. That's what this is all about. That is what this is all about, seeing beyond illusion. So there could be a feeling here of like disillusionment, right? A feeling of disillusionment. What were you not seeing clearly before? There is likely something that has been happening, like something that maybe it was just a little thing for you guys that you were like not seeing very clearly. But for some of you, this has been something that you have not seen clearly for your entire life. And you're being separated from that so you can grow clearly and without this confusion. This is truly to help you understand something with like purity of vision. This is like, how to describe? I don't know. Some examples will hit for some people and some won't. But have you ever been in a relationship that you thought was one way? And then towards the end of the relationship, or maybe after the relationship is already over, you kind of realize, wow, like that person or the dynamics of the relationship, you see it with completely new eyes and you go, how, like, was I really under this veil of illusion? Was I not seeing this clearly at all? How did I not understand? Like, how was I not seeing that clearly, right? And that's just one example. It could be something to do with the way you've been thinking about things, the way you've been thinking about your life. Um, and I don't mean that this has to be that you have been, you know, this doesn't even have to be like a negative thing. It doesn't have to be that you were confused in a negative way. This can also be more like, there's also an energy here, like another example of somebody who has been devoting all of their energy to something, maybe to their family or to their career. Easy examples, because those tend to be things that people devote all of their energy to, or maybe to a specific type of creative project. And then you kind of realize, oh, this isn't exactly it. This isn't exactly the thing for me. I feel like the illusion here is what you thought you wanted. Okay, what you thought you wanted. I think maybe if you've ever done a vision board, crafting out your perfect ideal life. And then it's like you're looking at your vision board and you're going, wait, that is what I think I want. That is what I thought I wanted. But what if that's not really it, right? So this is a distinction between what you think you want on the human level, what your mind thinks you want, and what will actually make you feel the way you want to feel. Okay? And if you've already experienced something like this in life, this will be easier to understand. Like if you've ever fallen in love with someone who was completely not your type, the kind of person that you never thought you could ever possibly be with, who's the exact opposite of the person you always thought you wanted, right? Then you fall in love with this completely different type of person and you realize, wow, this is actually what I wanted all along. I just had no idea. A silly example, right? I always wanted a really big, fluffy female dog. Like I wanted a female Samoyed, essentially. And what kind of dog did I get? I got a tiny little short-haired male Chihuahua. And I remember when I met him, I just immediately knew he was my dog, and I had to take him home. And I just remember thinking, well, this is not at all what I thought I wanted. But of course, he turns out to be the actual perfect, most beloved dog for me, right? So what we think we want isn't necessarily what will actually make us feel the way we want to feel. What we think we want isn't actually necessarily what we actually want, as weird as that is. And if I were to go back in time and try to explain that to my younger self would not take this message very kindly, right? And I feel like this is the kind of thing where if you've already experienced this, if you already know what I'm talking about, if you go, oh yeah, I can remember all of these times where I thought I wanted one thing, but then when I got something completely different, I realized, oh wait, this is actually what I want. I think that is a really profound experience and is really important because it helps us realign all of our expectations and make us rethink all of our expectations, and it makes us open and flexible to receiving what we actually want. And it makes it easier to recognize, to trust, right? To trust that we should actually receive what we want when we find it. Sometimes in life, right, we turn down the thing we want because we think we don't want it, right? Maybe that person, right, offers you love, or you have a chance to go out with this person and you think, oh, well, they're not really my type, or I'd never get along in a relationship with this person, or maybe this and that about them is, not what I want. And so you don't go out with them. But what if that was the person that, could have really been the relationship that would fulfill you on every level, right? The same thing with career and all of that. Maybe you think you want to have this type of career because you think that that's what you want, right? You think that would bring you money, and that would bring you abundance, and that would bring you status, and that would bring you the type of contribution that you want. And then because of that, you can, if you repeatedly and consistently and determinedly pursue that path because you think that's what you want, well, you could be missing out on the path that is actually what you want, the path that would actually bring you fulfillment, the path that would actually bring you the abundance in a smooth, flowing, satisfying way. So really, the message here is that you're going through a lot of inner growth. And for some of you, this is going to be easier because you already understand this whole process of what you want isn't always what you think it is, right? It doesn't always look like how you think it does. But if this is your first time encountering this situation, it's going to take a lot of trust, and you might have to really, 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 really go inwards. And if you are being separated from something, right, being separated from a relationship or a career move or your dream life, and you think that it's being withheld from you, it's really not. It's your higher self is trying to show you that you have been pursuing an illusion, pursuing the constructs of your mental body. And this is absolutely not about denying you what you want. It is actually about bringing you to what you want. You have to trust yourself, right? This isn't about you and any higher power that is outside of yourself. This is between you and your higher self. You and your higher self. You got to get on the same page with you and yourself, okay? You and yourself, your own self is trying to guide you and show you what you actually want. And in order to do that, you have to see beyond the illusion of what you thought you wanted. And it's interesting that personal growth, this is about you aligning with your own self, you getting on the same page with your own self. And you can think about how to do that when you think about your younger self. Think about you at 15 or 8 or 20 or however young it was, right? What would you tell yourself if you went back in time? There is a future version of you desperately trying to communicate to you, saying, just, get on the same page with your future self, get on the same page with your higher self, get on the same page with what you actually want at the soul level, right? What your soul is craving, what will actually bring your soul this fulfillment, rather than what your mind thinks you want. So there might be a grieving process here if you have to kind of throw out the vision board. If it's got like a house in Hawaii with a partner that looks like this and, a career that looks like that. Well, what if you could have all of those things, but they won't bring you the fulfillment that you desire, right? What if the fulfillment and satisfaction and love and peace and happiness that you desire looks completely different? What if it looks completely different, right? So just open your mind to that possibility and allow yourself you might have to be brutally honest with your own self here. You might have to be brutally, brutally honest with your own self here in order to see beyond the illusions of the mental body. So this is all really, 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 really good, because this is where the path shifts so that you can get off the illusory trail, the trail of illusions, right? And put you on the trail of fulfillment, right? That's what this is actually about. Your higher self is it's like your higher self is desperately trying to persuade you to believe in what you want, but just focus on the frequency of what you want, right? And not the actual outcome, or not what it actually looks like. And coming back around to what I was saying, this is like experiencing a deeper level of your heart chakra, right? So maybe you've been doing a lot of heart chakra healing, and maybe there has been a grieving process with that. But this is really now about seeing clearly from the heart, not seeing with the physical eyes, not seeing with the mind, right? You got to see with the heart chakra, see with your heart, and follow that path forward, following the heart and trusting in your own leap of faith, right? Trusting in your own leap of faith that will take you to the reality beyond illusion. So group number 2 with the green apple, I'm going to leave you guys there. Sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you later. Bye. Pile number 3, this is the golden apple. And even just saying that, I get this massive rushing of energy like down through my crown and into my heart. There's something cooking here. So let's find out what this is. Feeling the future, or tending the future, tending the future, feeling the future, tending the future, right? So you are growing into, it's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. The mind, creativity, and suppression. These 2 cards here, this is what this is the only hurdle here. For some of you, maybe this is already in the past. Okay, some of you, this is already in the past. Some of you, maybe you're in this right now. And you know what? This is one of those cases, and I've been noticing this, and I've been thinking about this. Every once in a while, I tune into the energy of a reading. And sometimes this is someone's private reading, sometimes it's a group reading, whatever. Sometimes it's just myself. And I can feel this like incredible high frequency energy. And it's so sparkly and it's so amazing. And it's like, wow, this is all of the blessings and the amazing. It's like the golden age is here, right? All of this beautiful, beautiful stuff coming through. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily match how people are feeling, right? Sometimes it doesn't match how I'm feeling. Sometimes I get that message for myself. Sometimes I know somebody is not feeling fantastic. And I get these messages about how everything is so wonderful coming through. It's this mismatch. Like, what is that about? Okay, what is that about? This is how I'm coming to think about that kind of scenario, because with these two cards coming out here, mind and suppression, it does not at all match this incredible like golden vortex, this golden age type of vibe that comes with this golden apple and this whole reading, like little reading for you guys. These cards, they don't match, right? Let me get a card on this. I'm trying to articulate what I mean, because I do have something to say about this mismatch. How do I want to say this? First of all, there's always a full spectrum of experience, right? There's always a full spectrum of experience. Second of all, when you're having a very high influx of like light and of divine energy, or however you want to look at it, right? When all of that beautiful abundance and all of that is coming in, there are sometimes aspects of yourself or sometimes aspects of people like around you that it's almost like they have an allergic reaction to it, right? And I mean, I hope this hasn't happened to you guys, but I think this happens to most people. You have some really great news, right? You're so happy. You're feeling so fantastic. You're having such a great day. And you go and you tell someone your great news, and it kind of just pisses them off, and they immediately rain on your parade, right? Maybe it's because like your good news triggered them in some way. Maybe it's because they were already having a bad day and they just weren't really able to tolerate the amount of light energy that you brought in. Sometimes it's just that. Sometimes this person is just mean and nasty and they have their own issues and they're deliberately trying to bring you down. But I think that's probably in the minority. At least in my experience, it's the minority. People don't usually deliberately do this, but okay, so it's that type of thing, right? But even sometimes, have you noticed that reaction inside of yourself? Like, this happens to me when I have too much food in the fridge, too much perishable food. I go, oh my goodness, I have all of this delicious food. What am I going to do? Like, it's all going to go bad. And I almost get in a bad mood. And instead of just being so happy to have so much abundance in the fridge, I get stressed and I get annoyed. And then I have to throw some of it out because I can't possibly eat it all. Or I feel like I have to eat it all even if I don't want it. And then it makes all this like, I can get like negative feelings from having an abundance of food. Right. And even sometimes if you've ever come into a sudden and unexpected sum of money, sometimes that can stress you out, right? The shock of it and the stress. And now what am I going to do with it? Sometimes the good news, the good thing, the influx of the light, it can like sour something, right? And isn't that kind of strange? But it's because there's just little, if that's what's happening for you guys. And so this could be something internal, right? This could be something internal where you're having a kind of allergic reaction inside of yourself, where it's your mind, right? Something going on in your mind. This is like the mind run rampant, and this is suppression, right? But everything is cracking, right? Cracking. What's actually going on here is whatever's been like suppressed, whatever gnarly mental energy has been suppressed in your mind, been like kept in there, it's about to like explode out. So that's another thing that can kind of happen here. All of the beautiful, amazing, high frequency energy, it can actually like shatter the seals that were containing the negative energy. And it's not even that this energy is like has to be negative or bad, but it's this mental energy and it needs to kind of spill out. It's this feeling of how to describe, it's like when you're leveling up in life, then you're kind of, that's when the insecurities or the doubts can come out, right? You get a new job, you're so happy for this new job, this new promotion, whatever it is, but now there's new challenges that come along with that, and now you have to face some kind of like fears that have been pestering around. So I don't want to focus too much more on this, right? There is some kind of like mental noise that is kind of causing you guys maybe a little bit of distraction. And it doesn't have to be internal. This could be manifesting as people around you, like naysayers or doubters, people trying to hold you back, all of that. It's just try not to take it too seriously, guys, and try not to take it too personally. Just think of it as noise and think of it as something that you can look at and you can address if you must, and then just set it aside, right? I mean, if you need to go on a deep dive and work through this, then you'll know, but you don't always need to do that, right? So we don't always need to make everything a huge big deal. We don't need to look at every single problem or like emotional warped emotion or every single like person. We don't need to, sometimes we can just set it aside and let it go, right? So you really need to discern for yourself, do I need to do deep inner work on this? Do I need to go on a big loop? Do I need to is this the new thing that I need to work on? Or can I just let it go? Can I just set it aside and let it go? And that's a choice that literally only you can make. So I'm going to kind of choose for myself to just let that go, right? To just let that go. And, this could be a doubt that you have about a creative project. I have this happening, right? I've been brewing on this all day, actually. I have a creative project kind of going on in the back burner that I'm definitely not ready to talk about. Maybe I won't be for years. I don't know. But anyway, it's a thing I'm doing privately and personally. It is a creative project. But I've been noticing the farther I get into it, the more like I have this doubt, right? This doubt like that's coming up. And I just keep going like, just for me, what I'm doing, at least for right now, is to just set the doubt aside. Because for me, I know that the inner doubts, the doubting in myself, the doubting in my project and all of that, that's just mental noise for me. That's literally just mental noise. And it's kind of part of this rite of passage, kind of part of this facing this next level. And what I'm practicing for right now is just trying to set the doubters, the doubting voices, to set them aside, exactly as I would if, I don't get really very many or hardly any at all negative comments on YouTube, right? Because I'm very blessed with such a understanding audience. But I do, obviously on YouTube, most YouTubers get tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of negative comments. You guys know the comment section of YouTube, right? It's usually like just a hell pit, right? And what do those YouTubers need to do who get all of the negative comments? They just have to ignore them, right? If they were to entertain, if they were to wade into the hell pit that is the YouTube comments and to try to address them, and then if they took those comments inside of themselves and then tried to create content that was trying to appease the nasty commenters, that's a road to disaster, right? So it's just like that. If you had a bunch of people in your life telling you not to do things, telling you that you can't do it, you would have to just go, hey, look, this is a bunch of naysayers. These are a bunch of negative Nancys, and you would have to just ignore them because you can't necessarily stop them, right? Negative comments on YouTube, you can't stop them. That's impossible. Negative naysayers in your life, you can try, you can maybe avoid them as much as you can, but you can't completely silence those voices forever. Same with the doubts inside your own mind. You can't, if you have some kind of deep-seated, self-esteem issues, right, that might be a whole bigger thing where you really need to, go on the deep dive. But don't expect the doubts to ever completely stop. The doubts will always be there. And it's funny, actually. I'm taken back to my childhood where my grandparents were doing my Christian indoctrination, right? But it's funny, now that I'm far enough away from that, I've kind of healed from the trauma of being brainwashed and indoctrinated into a very, very, very fundamentalist form of Christianity. And now, I had to go on a whole path to heal from that. Now I can just look back on it. And now I do actually get nuggets of wisdom from what they taught, right? And I remember them telling me, that when Christ was in the garden before the crucifixion, right? That story about how he was full of doubts, right? And he asked, let this cup pass from me. And, so my grandparents emphasized that even Jesus doubted, right? Even Jesus doubted, and even Jesus was afraid, and all of that. And that's kind of the message here, right? Everybody doubts. Everybody doubts themselves. And those, if you're waiting for the day when the doubts completely stop, that day might never come, right? Because what if it's part of the human experience that the doubting voices are always there somewhere? Hopefully we can all get to this place where they are very quiet, and where they're usually very, very quiet, and maybe they only come up and bother us every once in a while. But the fact that you have this feeling of doubt, or the fact that you are hearing doubting voices, in and of itself doesn't really mean anything. And you don't need to use that as like a guiding, those are not guiding voices. Those are voices to just set aside, right? To just set aside. So yeah. And because there's something here, doubts might be easy here because this is a long-term thing that you're building, right? Tending to the future with creativity. You're tending to the future with creativity. This doesn't have to be a creative pursuit for everybody, right? That's just going to be for some people. For some people, this is just your self-development, your spiritual path. For other people, this could be raising a child, right? Maybe you have doubts about your child's situation, right? Or how your child is doing, maybe about their health or their mental health. That's a whole nother thing, but let me just say, right? If you have a small kid, because, my son he just turned 17. So what I have learned, and I've only been parenting him for 10 years because I'm stepmom, right? But what I have learned in my 10 years as a parent is that the fears and the doubts that you might have when the child is very small, so many of those just completely resolve themselves naturally through the course of the whole family growing together and the child growing up. So a lot of the fears and doubts that you have as a parent when you have a young child, telling a parent not to worry is obviously like a futile endeavor, and I'm not going to tell you not to worry. Just remember, how you grew up and you were okay. And a lot of the things that people might have worried about you when you were a kid ended up, resolving themselves. The resolution always comes, right? The resolution always comes. So just tend to the future creatively, right? Tend to the future creatively. Ooh, show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. Full moon in Aquarius. Interesting. That brings in a little bit of a different vibe. Not anything to contradict what I was saying, but I thought the reading was going to be over, but this takes me in a little bit of a new direction. What do I want to say about this? This is something about I don't know, is somebody having a doubt about almost like exposing yourself? Not like exposing yourself, right? But like, are you afraid to allow people to see who you really are? Do you feel like you're pushing through some kind of resistance, and that this resistance is coming through the eyes of others and kind of public perception? This could also, because Aquarius, that can be, the group, the collective, but it can also be the mind. And that takes us back to this. Somebody here, potentially, lots of you, but there's something here about somebody is thinking the thoughts of others, and doesn't realize that they're other people's thoughts. Even somebody has internalized other people's thoughts, and you think that they're your thoughts, but they're not. They're other people's thoughts. So that is a specific message for somebody. The doubting thoughts, or the thoughts that tell you that you should stay small and hide, Those are not your thoughts. Those are coming from somebody else, like potentially from like the entire collective or maybe from one person, but they're coming from outside of you. So somebody needs to learn to identify when you're picking up other people's thoughts. Yeah, like that was like, I don't know, that was a really strange shift of energy there. Maybe that's for people with Aquarius placements, right? Okay, I'm just gonna leave that because that was like a different, that felt like a different message that almost like inserted itself into this. So that was probably just for some, anyway, let me get this card. Here's your art. Sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. Is somebody having doubts about a relationship? Is somebody in a relationship that other people disapprove of? Like your family doesn't like your partner, or your friends don't like your partner, or I don't know. I can't really imagine. I guess depending on where you live, this could come up, but maybe like society itself doesn't like approve of your partnership because of who the two of you are. I don't really know what that would be, but maybe there's some kind of cultural thing for somebody there, right? Anyway, so just a message on this is don't be afraid to allow the world to see who you really are, right? And treasure this union, right? Treasure this sacred union. Treasure this sacred union. For others of you, this is an internal spiritual thing where sacred union, with your higher self, with the universe itself, with your soul, with spirit, and with whatever you would consider your muse, right? Treasure the sacred union with your muse. For those of you that this is a creative project. So very kind of interesting. Very, very interesting here. It's like there's at least 3 different threads of energy within this one reading that belongs to the golden apple. So I will just trust you guys to filter through this so that you receive what is for you, right? I will conclude by reading you this card, Tending to the Future. 'Tis time now, beloved one, to tend to the future and to what will come, for there is a tender and vulnerable possibility, which is in the process of being nurtured into the next stage of its maturity. Find the way to protect this sweet, young, and lovely hope, and take care of it well, so well that it will come into life at a stage closer to you than you think possible. It is your job now to garden your own hopes and to allow the most fragile of beginnings to have enough of your care that it will make it through to the next stage. Prepare and plan, consider and contemplate, and do this hardest work yourself. The kitsune who walk with you at this time urge you to become the very spirit of the green, and they will work with you, walk with you, and whisper to you of all the things that need to be done, that only you can do. This tending of the future will make the present purposeful and fill it with devotion and richness, and the emotional qualities you bring to this time of preparation will be the very feelings that bloom the brightest once this dream has flowered. So, prune what must be reduced. Clear the earth of weeds and enrich the soil. Change poor habits that steal time and energy from you with no reward. Make a promise to devote time to yourself, to learn and to finally see the seeds you plant erupt into green life, searching for the sun. You will have success, friend, so say the kitsune. But it will be due to the tending, the caring, the learning, and the moments you give, the choices you make now. Here comes the future. Make this present moment feed the very best version of what will come to you. Yeah, so that brings me back to what I was saying at the very beginning with that massive like inrushing of really high frequency energy I felt. It's like you guys are receiving that energy now and you're going to be weaving it together and grounding it into the earth. Some of you it's a creative project. Some of you it's your family or a child. Some of you it is definitely a relationship. Some of you it is your spiritual journey or just your process of personal growth. And all of this is about you're receiving right now this massive influx of energy and it is creating this kind of new beginning. You're in the germination process. Everything is just kind of coming together. And a few things need to fall away and you might need to persevere past the doubting voices and you might need to work up some courage to truly be who you really are and to honor what it is for you to honor, right? And trust in this longer process that you're like flowing towards this kind of golden experience where it's gonna feel so good, right? That satisfying resolution, that satisfying completion, that feeling that yes, I have done it and this is where I'm supposed to be and this is where it's at, right? That feeling of this is where it's at. This is what life is meant to feel like. This is where it's at. That is what you're flowing into. And you might already be in that place. And this is just going into an even deeper place. But this is definitely going along with some kind of thing for you, right? It's some type of journey, some type of project, some type of relationship or thing that you're doing, right? It is something. And so ground that energy and keep gardening it, right? Tend to the future because the thing that you're working on now is going to bear fruit in the future. Golden fruit is going to bear golden fruit in the future. So I'm going to leave you guys there, sending you so much love and light, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.